And we are back with the third segment of the GSMC Basketball Podcast, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. And in this third segment, the main segment is going to be whether or not the Clippers should trade Kawhi Leonard. But I'm also going to give my halftime reports and halftime opinions on this basketball game that's going on right now. Obviously, the Serbian team is getting cooked right now by Team USA as Bam Adebayo hits a three-pointer in the corner. Fantastic. But without further ado, let's go ahead and go into the third segment talking about whether or not the Clippers should trade Kawhi. Now, I believe it was Kendrick Perkins, that made these comments on whether or not Kawhi should be traded. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. But, yes, it was Kendrick Perkins. Now, he said, quote, "If I'm the Clippers, I would consider trading Kawhi Leonard right now because they're just stuck in the middle." Like, that was, his opinions, and that's what he thinks. And so, according to this article, Kawhi has struggled. Now, the big reason why they think that they should trade Kawhi Leonard, or why he thinks they should trade Kawhi Leonard, is because he's struggled with his health throughout the majority of his time with the Clippers, right? Now, throughout his tenure with the Clippers, according to this article, he recently was sent home from Team USA's training camp as he continues to deal with persistent knee problem. Kawhi Leonard signed a 3-year, $152 million contract extension toward the end of last season. Now, during a recent appearance on ESPN's NBA Today, Kendrick Perkins had a lot of things to say. "I think Steve Ballmer, he needs to have an evaluation. You have Ty Lue. You just signed him to a contract extension. He's there for the long haul. They need to go into a rebuild mode. If I were the Clippers, I would consider trading Kawhi Leonard. They're stuck in the middle. Kawhi Leonard has set them back 10 years. If I'm the Clippers, I feel like I should consider trading Kawhi and rebuilding." Now, what he means by setting the Clippers back 10 years is that when Kawhi Leonard was when Kawhi Leonard was in conversation to join the Clippers, the big reason why he wanted to join was because he wanted to team up with Paul George. And he said that, like, if you don't get Paul George, then I'm not going. But, if you get Paul George, then it was guaranteed that he was going to go to the Clippers. So the Clippers essentially had to trade everything. Like, they traded 1 million draft picks. They traded Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and several other players. And I say 1 million draft picks, but in reality, it was like, I believe maybe 7 or something like that. It was a lot of picks that they gave up just for Paul George, right? And this is considered the worst trade in the history of the NBA right now. Like, I can't think of a single trade that is worse than this one right now. Like, the absolute worst, because they've only made it to the conference finals once, and the one time they did it was without Kawhi Leonard, right? Every single other year, they've done nothing but disappoint. They've disappointed in the postseason. They disappointed in the regular season. It happens every single time. It's the Clippers. Clippers gonna clip. That's what they do. And recently, they let Paul George walk in free agency. So they essentially traded all of their draft capital for nothing. And it's all because Kawhi wanted Paul George on the team. That's why he said that, he set them back. And, the injuries, they don't really help him much either, right? Now, obviously, when Kawhi Leonard is healthy, he is arguably one of the best basketball players on the planet. But when has he been healthy? Like, for the postseason? It's very rare that you see Kawhi Leonard healthy for the postseason, which is one of the big problems and one of the biggest reasons why the Clippers haven't made it so far in the postseason, because he's always hurt. So, the idea is to trade Kawhi Leonard right now so that way, he still has enough value. And obviously, being injured, it doesn't really help things. But since he has the value, you can actually gain some of the draft capital that you lost by trading Paul George and, continue to go through this little rebuilding phase if they want to. Now, one of the, something that's pretty funny, I saw an Instagram post that was saying that Kawhi Leonard should be traded, and Russell Westbrook actually liked that photo. I don't know why he liked it, but it's kind of funny to think that Russell Westbrook liked an image suggesting that Kawhi Leonard should be traded. It's pretty funny. Now, The article continues. Ballmer has done everything he can to uplift the Clippers organization. They move into the Intuit Dome for the upcoming campaign. As such, they can fully stop sharing an arena with the Lakers. Clippers fans would undoubtedly like the opening years of their tenure in Inglewood to be competitive. However, if the smart move is to begin tearing the roster down and rebuilding from the ground up, the front office must explore that avenue. So, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you think that Kawhi Leonard should be traded? Do you think that he should stay on the roster? Do you think that, since they do still have James Harden on the roster, do you think they could be a formidable duo now that Paul George isn't on the team and, James Harden can have more touches with the ball? And do you think Russ is going to get traded, despite the fact that he did pick up his player option? But that's essentially the talk about Kawhi Leonard and what's going on with the Clippers right there. But aside from that, we might as well go ahead and talk about this game that's currently in halftime, right? So I'm just going to give my little halftime opinions on the recent game that's going on between Serbia and the United States. So the United States is a little bit lucky that Nikola Jokic, he's not really playing that well. Like, he was 5 for 15 from the field and was really, really struggling against Team USA. Part of that is because of Anthony Davis and his defense and the 4 blocks that Anthony Davis has had. It's a block party out there for AD. And really, the team, while what it was once a close game, turned out to be a blowout for, or at least it's turning into a blowout right now because the score is, let me just go ahead and look at the live stats. Yeah, it's 59-45, United States, Serbia, and, Team USA is finally playing the proper basketball that we all know they play. And guess what? Joel Embiid wasn't playing a majority of those minutes. It's almost like Joel Embiid makes the team worse. But aside from that, I really don't like Joel Embiid. I don't like his play style. I don't want him in the starting lineup, please. Because, Anthony Davis is playing far better than him. He's just playing so much better than Joel Embiid has ever even played for Team USA. It's baffling. And the player of the game right now, or at least the player of the half, is Steph Curry. He's 6 for 9 from the field. And he's 4 for 6 from 3. He has the most points with 18 right now. And, this is the reason why they have the greatest shooter of all time on the roster. To make shots like this, to hit important shots like this, and, to continue hooping like this. This is why a lot of people didn't really like that Steph Curry was in the lineup for whatever reason, in the starting lineup, because, defense and things like that. But I personally think this is, a perfect addition to the starting lineup. This is why he's on the lineup. This is why he's on the team. And this is why you need 3-point shooters like this, because they can turn the tide of the game so quickly. Before you even blink, you could be down by, let's say, maybe 6 or 7 points. And before you even blink, just 2 3-pointers from this man, and boom, the game is close. It is fantastic, in my opinion, right? Now, obviously, the biggest problem that I've had with this team is Joel Embiid, but another problem that this team has and is suffering from is their turnovers. The turnovers that they've had recently in these games, it's they've gotten a lot of turnovers, and I don't know what their turnover count is right now. I'm actually going to go ahead and check. Yeah, they have 6 turnovers in total in this game. And it's really hurting the team, just the fact that they have so many turnovers and they're getting so many turnovers in these games. But, this halftime, they finally decided to wake up, and it was a close game at the beginning, but they ended up pulling away with this lead, partly because Nikola Jokic hasn't really been playing that well in this game, and the other part because, Joel Embiid wasn't in the lineup. I cannot stress that enough, just how incompetent Joel Embiid looks on Team USA. I don't know what it is, but it's like the Monstars literally just swooped in, grabbed his powers, and ran away with it. I don't know why. It's been horrible. He's been horrible. I'm not sugarcoating it, and I don't mean to talk down on him, but like I said, I don't like sugarcoating things. He's played really bad. The way that he plays is not helping Team USA at all. I hope after this game he's benched, and I hope Anthony Davis is in the starting lineup and stays in the starting lineup regardless of what roster changes and what roster comes at Team USA in this lineup. Like, it's really, really bad. Like, and you guys might think that I'm like, being a little biased, but literally I watched the clip. I watched Joel Embiid try to go up for a layup, and instead of, trying to score, he did this. Literally just did this, and the ref didn't call it. Surprise, surprise. The stuff that he does in the NBA doesn't work in FIBA. Get him out of the lineup. Get him out of the starting lineup. Period. Done. But, aside from that, we're going to go ahead and go into the fourth segment where I talk a little bit about the basketball news that's going on in the world and free agent signings, some summer league stuff. I recently watched, the summer league game, and halftime seems to be almost ending. So depending on when the third quarter starts, I'll even give some more, updates on the game and things like that. If you guys want to, they're currently doing a bunch of trampoline jumps, but I'll be right back after this third segment, or right after this break. Be sure to stay tuned for the fourth segment.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.